So today's Monday. We got to box up and ship out some chicks. I wanted to take a minute and show you guys how we box them up. So we've had a lot of troubles in the past getting boxes. These are what we currently have. There's a lot of things we don't like about these boxes. That's why we're currently getting our own ones made. The physical footprint of it and everything's all the same. This right here, this isn't the final example, but this is a little box. This is what our new boxes are going to look like. There's a lot of things we don't like the holes are already punched out in this, which is great for the summer, but horrible for the winter. And there's no dotted lines for your bends, so your bends don't end up very clean. Both of those will be fixed in the new box that we're making. These ones that we do have currently are kind of creased, so they're not horrible to do. And then these tabs here fold into that. But my idea was, and some of the boxes we got in the past, again, they were so hard to get, and even when you got them from the same source, they wouldn't be the same box. But some of the ones we got in the past had dotted lines, and they were super easy to make. And my idea was, let's make them as easy as possible to make, so that way I can make the kids do it and not mess it up. Child labor. Gotta love it. That's why I'm having 8 kids. Not really though. I mean, I'm really having 8 kids, but that's not why I'm having 8 kids. So there is the box. Just that simple. But again, it's got all these holes, which is for summertime. Right now we're in Michigan and it's 32 degrees and freezing rain right now, so we got to cover some of these up. The worst part is the top. This is the top that came with these, and there's no way any chick would live with this top on there right now. So this, I mean, the cool thing about this design, this is a design that most hatcheries use and have been using for a long time. It has slanted sides, so that way if a box gets put up against it, there's always airflow. Because no matter what, you need airflow. So all sides are slanted. It requires no staples to assemble this. It's just locked in by itself. So it's a great design. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. So this is the nesting pad that goes in the bottom. They make a huge mess, which is why Lydia looks forward for the hatchery outside to be done. Now, when it's 0 degrees out here in Michigan, I'll put them halfway up the sides and put 2 of them in there, and then that gives them a warm barrier to go up against. And we also have heating packs that we'll put in the bottom if it's really cold also. But I know a lot of people are super concerned about shipping chicks out. A few questions I always get is, who do they come through? Well, the post office is the only one that has the contract to ship chicks. They've had it for over 100 years, and they're the only ones that will ship chicks. So that's our only option. And I know as soon as a lot of people hear that the post office is shipping them, they're scared, and rightfully so. I mean, they're very slow at everything they do. The post office is horrible. What do you mean, what's wrong with the post office? Anything you send through the post office takes twice as long as what it should be. Imagine if UPS could ship the chicks. It would be way better. But anyway, that's a different note. Any of you who work at the post office, I'm sorry. For the longest time, it was 1-day shipping. And then it was 2-day shipping. Well, you can live with 2-day shipping, that's not that bad. Then during COVID, they decided that even though it says 2-day shipping, they're gonna move it to 3-day shipping. So this year, around Christmas time, I was bringing chicks to the post office and they're telling me it's gonna be a 3-day shipment, which is ridiculous. Now, mind you, I had plenty of them that did take 3 days and they all lived. You need help? Well, you're missing a wheel, so that's what your problem here is gonna be. And all the chicks lived, so it's not that that can't happen, it's that it's just not ideal at all. So the post office is the only option. Everything we do is express, so we do the priority express, which is the fastest way you can ship them. It's super expensive. That's why our shipping cost is $50, and to be honest, we're probably losing a little bit of it at this point, because when we originally set that, we had some that were down in $30 range and some that were in $70 range. So we said we'll just do 50, we'll lose some, win some. Now, I don't think I've had one under $50 in a couple months. So we're eventually gonna have to raise that, but for all our orders that were already done, we're obviously not gonna raise that on them. Chicks are not supposed to be fed before they go. So they're supposed to be day old, they're not supposed to be fed, and that's because they soak up part of the yolk before they hatch. This is how God made them. This is nothing that we as humans invented. We're just using it to our benefit. So because they soak up that yolk, they can last for, some people say, up to 5 days. I mean, that's definitely hit or miss once you get to five or 6 days. In nature, the hen doesn't start setting it on them all at once, so some might hatch a little differently, and they need to stay under that mom, and it might take a couple days before they're all fluffed out. You're not supposed to feed them before they leave, and you're not supposed to put food in the box when they leave. And this is right in the agreement that we have with the post office. So I know a lot of hatcheries do it. I watched an interview with Tom, who's one of the owners.
I wouldn't name drop.
It's on YouTube. It's an interview that they had. I think it was Pasture Poultry Producers. I forget the abbreviation. In the same interview, I'll try to find that and put it in the description. Because then in that same interview, he talks about American Bresse and how he does think they're the future.
How do you feel about the Bresse in the U.S.?
I hope for it really good. Like I really see those taking off.
In that same interview, they asked about the grow gel.
We put it in all of our shipments, every one of them. Kind of get them a start. So
okay.
I'm not convinced that it does anything as far as keeping them alive in transport, but
it doesn't do anything besides keep the phones from ringing. So basically, it's just making the customers feel better about the chicks going through the mail. It doesn't really do anything for you. So I see a lot of negativity online about people who A, buy chicks in the winter and get them shipped to them, or B, the fact that hatcheries even offer it in the winter. And we've had a lot of success in the winter shipping chicks. They don't need heat because we ship boxes of 25 chicks. That is what this box is rated for. So they create enough heat to keep themselves warm. It's crazy, but it's true. We will put heat pads in there if they're going, if we're like at 0 degrees and they're going somewhere that's 0 degrees, we'll put heat pads in the bottom. But a lot of times, even if we are 0, 5 degrees, whatever, and they're going to Florida, we're not going to put a heat pad in there because they're going to be hot once they get down there. And that's almost just as bad too, because at a certain point, they'll get so hot and start creating moisture, and moisture is what's going to get them sick. Because I do get that question a lot, is it safe to ship chicks in the winter? And absolutely it is. We actually have more problems in the spring when you're getting extreme temperatures both ways. Oh no.
What?
No, I didn't cut the table. We built this table and you wanted it distressed. Hey, well, keep your fingers out of the way.
Why?
She wanted it distressed to look like an old farmhouse table. So she had me beating it with chains, hammers, everything. And then I told her, I said, look, we gotta sand it. And I sanded it and sanded it and sanded it, and
It wasn't distressed.
you couldn't see hardly any of the distressed. So I'm not concerned if I scratch it a little bit, because that means your mom's gonna actually love it that much more.
It perfectly fits.
Are you my hype man?
Yeah, it perfectly fits.
Good.
What?
So there's that. Let's put this away before a kid gets it.
Yes.
Now, why do you have a DVD?
I don't know.
Why Everett, I got a job for you.
What?
What? You don't like me when I give you jobs?
I do. I already got a job. Now I have 2 jobs.
Yeah. Can you go, oh, let's leave Stip alone. Can you go on the desk, and in that big jar are stickers. We need 2 of the Keep Chicks Alive sticker, or Live Chicks sticker. And we need 1 of the Recreational Homestead sticker, and 1 of the Bresse's Best stickers.
How many chick stickers?
2.
Okay, got it.
See what you can come up with there.
Okay.
While he's getting that, we can start working on the sides. So because of the temperature, we're just going to leave these 2 holes on the top open. And that's going to cover all of them. Asa, let Everett do it. You come over here and help me. We're very fortunate to be working with Erin. She's got us all these connections. We were looking for her. She designed our logo and all of our branding. These 3 holes in the bottom here should be covered up, but the straw kind of does it. I think I'm going to leave those. This is something that you just have to learn as you go, sadly. There's nobody out there really teaching this stuff. I'm going to put a couple of these stickers in there for them. So now this gets stuck here, like so. That closed. So there's that.
What about those 2 chick stickers?
Will they deliver it to your house? And the answer is no. They hold them at the post office and you have to go pick them up from there. That might not be your local post office. If you live in a rural area, you might have to drive a little bit to go get it. Like for us, our closest post office is 8 minutes away, but the ones that they actually go to and stay at that call us is probably 15 minutes away. So it won't be a huge distance for you, but it might not be your local post office. We will give you tracking information, but it's never right. They always say they're sitting in Grand Rapids, which is our main hub here. That's where they'll fly out of. And then it'll say, boom, they were picked up or delivered. We keep an eye on it. We want to know that they get there safely, just like you do. We do guarantee that you'll have 25 chicks 24 hours after you pick them up. Stuff does happen. I mean, to be honest, me taking chicks out of the incubator and putting them in my own brooder, stuff happens. You know, you're still gonna get one that dies maybe. They're a fragile, but yeah, extremely hardy animal. I would say now the average is 2 days. Sometimes it'll take a day. Sometimes it'll take 3 days. A couple weeks back, which really set us back, our post office called us on a Thursday after we shipped out on a Monday and said all of our boxes of chicks came back because they couldn't fly due to weather. They were in the post office for 4 days and I had 1 that died in the box. The rest lived. It is a safe way to ship them.
We do check the weather, but that was a fluke thing.
Yeah, and of course we check the weather, and we're not going to send them out if we think something's going to be wrong or they're going to get sent back. I mean, that time, yeah, it was 5 degrees out, but there was no reason we saw that they wouldn't fly them. So I'm not sure what happened. We were totally surprised. Oh, good job, buddy. So now we're going to go out and put some chicks in this box and get them sent out. Right now, we're not sending many out per week. Egg production is down. These hens are slowing. They're supposed to be picking up right now. And they are a little bit, but they're older hens. They're not brand new pullets that just started laying. We do have pullets that are starting to lay, and we're getting a ton of small eggs right now. Soon, very soon, we'll be starting to set those once they get up to size. We'll be able to catch up on some of our delayed orders and start offering more availability, hopefully. So I just got all the ones that were dried off out of the hatcher. I'm gonna leave the rest of them in there. There's some that need to dry off a little bit more and stuff. I'm gonna inspect each one and look at their vent, make sure both eyes are open, make sure their feet, toes, everything look good, and then they'll go in this box. I'll double check them, count them twice, and they'll get sent out in the mail today. So they literally go straight from this hatcher into the box, into the mail. You can see how crowded they're in there. A lot of people will say if they end up unfortunately having one that died, it's gonna be laid against the bottom and it's gonna look like it got trampled. And I mean, it kind of did because it died. There's not too many chicks in here. This is what the box is rated for. This is what everybody rates it for. This isn't just what we came up with. So they're supposed to be that crowded in there. Only in the summer when it gets super, super hot, you would want to put less than that in here because they would get too hot.
Good.
It get you?
Yeah.
One last step. I take the tape, the scissors. Oh, keep it down. No, leave it there. Leave it there. We're all done in there. Okay. You gotta help me right here. Look. You gotta help me. It's gotta go nice and tight all the way around. You know, like that. Just like that, right? Keep the lid on good and tight. Can you go give me the stapler? And then it gets stapled on. Except for E-Dog used all the staples.
Sorry, I forgot.
3 staples here. In there. It's ready to go. Now all it needs is a label, which we use stamps.com for our labels, and they're not compatible with Apple. So I was printing them off at work using my own labels and stuff, but using the computer at work to print them off. You got your finger? Oh, that's silly. But now that I don't have a job, that's not an option. So you can go to the post office, you just have to fill it out by hand. It's definitely way more of a pain in the butt, but it's okay because I'm sending Liddy this time.